Hey, what's up everybody? This is Damron. We're playing Gears 5, part of my Gears Escape series on Master difficulty. We're playing the Trap in this video. So let's look at the modifiers. We've got more stumps, so the number of stumps are increased. Longer recharge, so our ultimates take a long time to recharge. Execution rules, so we got to be close to enemies in order to kill them. Big recoil, so the recoil on the weapons is dramatically increased. And some usual suspects, more health, more lethal, and Iron Man. As I've mentioned in some previous videos, the Coalition mentioned in Operation 5, they are going to separate characters from classes, so you're going to be able to play any class with any characters. So essentially the characters that I'm showing you are the classes that you're going to want to use on this level. So we're bringing Kate for her shotgun abilities. We've got Clayton, his reflect is going to be very valuable on this mission, as well as being able to use heavy weapons and do extra damage with mulchers and tri-shots. And then we have Cole, who's going to be very helpful for his melee abilities, of course, with his dash and bash and being able to explode enemies as well. So the thing about this mission, and the reason that it's called the Trap, is one of the things you'll notice is a lot of the doorways have what looks like a switch on them, like you can close the door, and you need to cross those doorways together. If, say, a player crosses the doorway and gets far from the other players, the door can shut and separate you all, and you're going to have to meet up via some other route to kind of get back together, and you don't want that to happen on master difficulty. So you definitely just want to cross all the doorways together. You can see there how dramatic that increased recoil is. Shooting the Talon, which already has a pretty big recoil, is almost useless, right? As I've mentioned as well, the triple melee is a very important skill to have in master difficulty escape, and that's done just by melee, and then holding melee. And when you do that, you're going to stun the enemy, and then when you stun them, you can either execute them or grab them as a meat shield to finish them off. Had a little unlucky with that, trying to take him over the cover there and got down. But anyway, you can see we're kind of progressing up the right hand side, and we're kind of crossing all of these entryways together. We don't want any entryway to close as we go through it and separate us. Alright, so right now, you know, we don't really have any weapons. We're just kind of trying to stay together and move forward as we progress through these entryways together. So we're sticking to the right hand side. Eventually we're going to turn right up into this room here, and this room here is going to have a couple grenadiers, a couple snipers, and a stump. Okay, so we want to focus on getting the grenadiers down so Kate can get the shotguns. You can see how pointless it is to even shoot rifle type weapons. So they're going to go ahead and take out the grenadiers, so I can grab this Gnasher here. The Gnasher is going to be very helpful to start taking down the enemies and the stumps. In this particular portion, the stump was so focused on me that, you know, I was actually waiting to get a active reload right here, but the stump is so focused on me that Cole was able to end up just start going up and, you know, run into him. So then when he kind of stuns him, I'm able to get a few shots off. And once you get a bleeding shot off, it really does a significant amount of damage with the Gnasher with Kate. So that's really why you want to get her in here and get those shotguns, so you're able to deal a lot of damage to those stumps, as you'll see going forward. So now I've got a Gnasher. Cole has went ahead and picked up the tri-shot and given that now to Clayton from that stump that we just killed. So Clayton has a tri-shot, and he's going to be able to deal increased damage with that. So as soon as we kind of head to this next section here, we're not actually going to go up to the right here. You know, there's really no need to go this way. There's nothing back there for you. We actually have to progress up the middle. But there's going to be a lot of drone enemies and grenadiers back here, and there's going to be 2 stumps to deal with. So this is a pretty challenging room, but it is the last room right before the first, or the only safe room, I should say, in this level is a 2-act hive. So you can see the 2 stumps back there. So you got to be very careful, because, you know, 2 stumps firing can obviously down you pretty quickly. But we want to go ahead and get into this left hallway here and kind of progress up here a little bit. So I'm kind of using this cover on the left hand side. Go ahead and take out this drone that's right here, and then I'm going to jump over, and you're going to see there's going to be drones to my right, and there's also going to be drones that kind of come from straight, you know, what's to my left now. So you have to be very careful here. And also, I don't have much ammo, right? So you got to be very careful and work as a team here. And also, because of the execution rules, you know, the grenadier that I downed over there was still alive, and ended up getting revived by his teammate. Again, so you have to be very careful. So he again is down, but he's not dead yet. I need to get in there and take him out. So I'm gonna go do that right now and pick up that extra Nasher ammo. So now I've got 7 bullets. So you have to be very careful here not to overutilize your ammo because you're not going to have that much of it. But as you can see now, we've kind of pushed up to the flank of these stumps, and I'm going to wait to be able to active reload my shotgun. And an active reloaded shotgun damage on a bleeding enemy. So I'm going to shoot one, now he's bleeding. Now I can do significant damage on that stump and pretty much bleed him out in about 3 shots. So you see that I was able to take him out. So now we've got one more enemy and one more stump. And I had the most unfortunate thing happen here. I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to use my ability and go take him out. But I think he was shooting at Cole and ended up downing me. Because Kate's ability, right, you're invisible and you can just go execute enemies. So that was a pretty unfortunate situation. But able to get this, able to down him. Won't be able to kill him until we get closer. But if he's down, he doesn't matter. There's, the stump can't revive him. So we're just waiting for an opportunity now to be able to kind of head closer to that stump and get behind that cover right there that he's beside, so we can get some closer Nasher shots on him. So as soon as he starts firing, I kind of head in as well as Cole. Now he may start firing again and down you, but one of you should make it to the wall, and whoever got down can be revived. So I'm going to use all the rest of my Nasher ammo to get all that bleeding damage on him. Cole finishes him off with some melee damage, and then we're going to go ahead and head into the safe room. So that's it for the first act. It's pretty tough because you don't really have much ammo, and you certainly have some powerful enemies to deal with. So Clayton again is going to be carrying those tri-shots, and we're moving on. And we're going to speed this up a little bit as we're going through the safe room. But in the safe room, you definitely want to pick up all the ammo boxes with Kate to give her as much shotgun ammo as possible. So you grab all that ammo. There's just a couple of them, but it's better than nothing. And as soon as the door opens, we're going to be heading into the second act of the final act of the trap.
Come on, this ain't over.
So pushing forward into this room here, right after the safe room, you're going to have a bunch of Grenadier elite enemies and elite drones, as well as some Scions that are pushing straight forward at you. You can see there's a pretty significant amount of enemies right here, so just use your cover, take out the enemies as you can. Remember the execution rules, right? So you can see, but you don't want to risk it, right? You don't want to run up there and risk, trying to kill one enemy because he's crawling on the ground. Your main focus is to take out the Salvo Scion. Once he's off the board, you'll have a little bit more freedom to kind of get in there and finish off these enemies as you take them down. So there's also, there could be for you a overkill. If there is an overkill, be sure you grab that with Kate. I accidentally dropped my Nasher for it instead of dropping the hammer burst, so now I'm like, where's my Nasher? Where is my Nasher? And I'm trying to find my Nasher. So I got to get that back. So let me go ahead and pick up Cole here, pick up some more overkill ammo. There's my Nasher actually right in front of me, but I didn't see it. Trying to get a little bit more cover. So we've got 2 more enemies to deal with. Hotshot sniped one right there. With his tri-shot, just popping heads with it. Finally got my Nasher back, so I've got 6 bullets with the Nasher and I got 4 bullets with the overkill, but we'll get a little bit more ammo in an ammo room up here. But again, we want to remember as we kind of get into sections like this, right? So you've got the right, and you got the forward, and you got the left, and you can see they've got these green like buttons, like you can hit it, right? But if you cross and separate from each other too much, they can close and it'll actually separate you guys. So you want to cross these together. So we're going to go straight, and immediately to the left is an ammo room, and there's going to be some ammo here, so we want Kate to grab all that so she can have more Nasher ammo and more overkill ammo. There's also some frag grenades in here if anybody wants to come and pick up the frags. So Cole's going to go ahead and pick those up. And you can see that Clayton is still rocking that tri-shot. So once we get that ammo, we're going to head straight again, left from the safe room, and we're going to be up into this room here. You can see there's another stump to the left, and we've got some rejects. So I'm going to go ahead and get some Nasher shots on this stump here, get him bleeding, get him hurt, and you can take him out pretty quickly. Now with the recoil on, and as I've mentioned in other videos, just in general, with the overkill, you want to kind of push and hold the trigger and then get your reticle where you want it before you let go, because when you let go of the trigger with the overkill, that's going to immediately fire a second shot. So with that increased recoil that's on this level, where the recoil is severe, when you pull the trigger with the overkill, it's really going to rise on you. So it's kind of critical on this level with the overkill, when you pull the trigger, hold it down and then get your reticle back on the enemy and let go of it. Don't just kind of let go, because you'll likely just miss your second shot. So once we've taken out those enemies, we're really just going to kind of push straight forward here. There's some more, it looks like Cole was holding on to some tri-shot ammo for Clayton there. Now, the way you can get tri-shots over those barriers in the middle, if you crouch beside it and drop it, it'll kind of drop it on the top of the barrier, and then you can jump over the barrier and grab it. And then you can, you know, kind of take wall cover again on the next barrier and drop it while you're in wall cover, and it'll kind of land on top of the cover, jump over, grab it again. So we're on to the last big room before the exit, and so Clayton kind of goes in here with his ultimate, which is that nice reflect ability, and he's going to down a lot of enemies just from the reflect damage of him just kind of standing there. Any enemy that shoots him is going to basically get down. So that clears the way, gets rid of the enemies that are like immediately in front of us, and now we can kind of progress to the right. You can see these are the enemies that are down that were shooting Clayton when he activated his ultimate. So we can kind of progress to the right a little bit more safely, because there's not any more enemies right there, and we can kind of get closer to the enemies that were in the distance over that gap. And there's going to be quite a bit of drones up here. There's going to be a Scion as well as a Stump. So Kate's priority is to take out the Scion. Alright, because with your overkill and your bleed damage, you should be able to take out this Scion pretty quickly. And it is a salvo Scion, so you want to take it down. So we've got that down, a little bit more overkill ammo right there, which I'll grab. And I'm going to go ahead and head, before we head up to that Stump, you know, we see we got more drone type enemies to deal with. So we're going to go ahead and take out this elite engineer. I'm going to go execute him with the execution rules, so they won't bleed out unless you're close enough to them. And then I got a claw enemy here, which I'm going to deal with. Now with the recent update in Operation 4, the claws are much less lethal. They decrease the damage output and the accuracy output of it. So that makes it a lot easier. So once you've taken that out, then you can kind of get some flanking shots on this Stump here. And with, you know, Kate shooting the shotgun and Cole meleeing that Stump, you can kind of kill it pretty quickly. So we've cleared out that last room, and we can head to the exit of the trap, and we can call in that, you know, helicopter and get out of this hive. So we were able to not get trapped, so to speak. Again, you really want to just progress through all the doorways closely together. So once you're kind of set up, you can go ahead and get ready to pull that door. And Cole has saved his ultimate ability for this section. Cole's ultimate ability is always really useful at the end of the hives, because he can kind of keep enemies at bay. So he's there with that salvo from that salvo Scion, and he just laid waste to some enemies, and then he's going to activate his ultimate and just kind of take out as many enemies as he can. And more importantly, he just keeps them away from us, keeps them away from even coming to the door, and then he heads to the exit. And as you know, doing that, you basically don't have any enemies to deal with at the exit. So thank you, Cole, and I hope you guys are enjoying this. That's going to wrap it up for the trap. The escape maps in Gears 5 have been super fun. We're almost caught up fully in this series, and you know, obviously we'll be doing the new ones as they come out, but it's been a blast playing this, and I hope that you guys are finding these guides helpful and you're enjoying escape mode, and hopefully I'll see you in the next Gears 5 escape mode on Master difficulty. Damron out.